This nightmare may finally end. I'm faster.
Hello everyone, welcome to another video. In this video I would like to show you my Stormcall Assassin. I'll start the video off by showing some gameplay, and after that I will talk about how I built the character. The build revolves around the new Awakened Spell Cascade gem. This gem makes it so that your Stormcall will create 4 additional explosions around the targeted location. These explosions can overlap, so this gem is insane for both clear speed and damage. The gem is somewhat expensive at the moment, and if you can't afford it, you can also play the build with a regular Spell Cascade gem. I will show you some gameplay with that as well. The build has incredible clear speed, insane single target damage, and it's also fairly tanky. We get around 7k effective life, which can be scaled even higher with better gear. We get elusive from our ascendancy. The build is incredibly ranged, so you can kill things from the other end of the screen, and you can also precast your storm calls for like metamorphs and conquerors, which makes it so that you can destroy most things before the fight even begins. And as you can see, the storm call functions just as well with a regular spell cascade gem as well. I will quickly finish this map and show you the metamorph kill as well, and after that I will talk about the gear. Okay, so let's quickly go over the gear. I'll start with the most important stuff. You definitely want a helm with disenchant to reduce storm call duration. It will reduce the time it takes for your storm calls to explode, making the build feel very smooth. I would recommend that you craft this helm yourself. Just buy the base with the enchant, preferably an energy shield base, and then use metallic fossils. Metallic fossils will give you that nearby enemies have minus lightning resistance mod, and on top of that what you're looking for is like energy shield, life, and resistances. For your amulet, we are using Choir of the Storm. It gives you a lot of lightning damage, some mana. That fourth mod is basically 75% crit chance, it's because we have like 75% lightning resistances. And it also makes sure that whenever you deal a critical strike, you will trigger lightning bolts, which do considerably nice damage. So it's a really nice and cheap item for this build. I would recommend using Turbulent Catalysts on this to improve that lightning damage mod. For your body armor, you want a Redeemer influenced item with that third mod, a chance to gain a Frenzy Charge on hit. Frenzy Charges give you a lot of cast speed and damage in general, so they are super nice. If you want to craft something like this, it was fairly easy. I believe it took me like 250 alterations to get that mod. You can craft it by buying an item level 80 or higher Redeemer influenced body armor, preferably energy shield base, and then you use orb of alterations until you get that mod. Regal the item, and if you get an open prefix, you can craft the life yourself. It was fairly easy, like I said. We are using a Mark of the Shaper as well. It's an amazing ring that gives you energy shield, life, and spell damage, given that your other ring is an elder item, which you can craft yourself fairly easily. You can craft something like this by buying the base, elder based opal ring, and then use Essences of Wrath. Essence of Wrath will guarantee you that lightning damage, and on top of that you're looking for things like life resistances. For your gloves, I decided to go with Hands of the High Templar, because the implicit was fairly cheap, the curse enemy with elemental weakness on hit, and the item also gives you some life resistances, which is super nice. For your weapon, it's fairly simple. You're looking for like at least 50% lightning spell damage, 10% cast speed, some crit chance for spells, and then if you can manage to get a dagger with open suffix, you can craft that last mod, chance to deal double damage while focused. This will grant you a skill called Focus that you can use to burst down map bosses and metamorphs. For your shield, you're looking for some spell damage, life resistances. The crit chance I have on this is way overkill. If you manage to get crit chance on either one of these, it will be totally fine, and you can probably drop both as well. If you can get open suffix as well, once again you can craft that last mod. And also keep in mind that whenever you can get energy shield on your gear, it will be totally nice, so keep that in mind as well. For your belt, it's fairly simple. You're looking for some life resistances and an energy shield maybe. Stygian wise is the optimal base, because you can put an abyssal jewel like this in here for some extra life and then phasing. For your boots, tailwind boots would be amazing if you can afford it. If you can't afford something like this, you can just go for a rare boot with a lot of life resistances. Also keep in mind that ideally you'd want the resistance penetration enchant in here, but if you can't get that, it's somewhat hard. You can also go for this enchant, which will give you a lot of damage against bosses. So that's all the gear. For your flasks, Divine Life Flask of Staunching for the bleed removal, Enduring Divine Mana Flask of Warding for the curse removal. This is always your go-to. Cinder Swallow gives you a lot of recovery. If you can manage to get fire damage on your maybe jewel in here or your weapon, you can ignite enemies and benefit from the second mod. And on top of that, it gives you some crit chance, which is probably overkill, but if you can afford it, it will be nice. And then finally, Diamond Flask of Feet for the freeze removal. And that's all the flasks. Okay, so for gems, we are linking our Storm Call with Intensify, Awakened Spell Cascade, Conk Effect, Spell Echo, and then Restoration. If you can't afford the Awakened Spell Cascade, as I've said earlier, you can just go for regular Spell Cascade. It will be fine for all content. And then if you can't afford the 6th link, you can also drop the Intensify right here. In our gloves, we have an Orb of Storm set up. Orb of Storms, Energy Leech, added lightning damage, and then faster casting. In our boots, we have our auras, Herald of Ice, Wrath, Herald of Thunder, and then Enlighten. If you can't afford the Enlighten 4, you can go for an Enlighten 3 here. It will be totally fine. You can still like spam cast it. In our helm, I have a Wild Righteous Fire linked with increased duration. Wild Righteous Fire is super nice for like bursting down map bosses, conquerors, whatever. And then summon Lightning Golem with minion life in here so that it doesn't die all the time. In my shield, I have Flame Dash, Arcane Surge, and then Control Destruction. Control Destruction is just there for the mana multiplier. It makes so that your Flame Dash costs more mana, and then you can use a higher level Arcane Surge and still be able to get your Arcane Surge, which is one cast. And then finally, in my weapon, I have a Wave of Conviction linked with Trap and then increased duration. This is only used for like Conquerors and Metamorphs. You have that like empty phase where you do nothing in those fights, and you can just throw this trap before the fight. The Wave of Conviction will apply lightning exposure to enemies, which is an insane damage boost. So I would definitely recommend going for this setup as well. So that's all the gems. So for passive tree, we are playing Assassin. Assassin is super nice because you get power charge generation, a lot of crit chance and crit multi, damage, movement speed, survivability. So it's a super nice ascendancy for this type of character. When you're looking for jewels, you want to look for as much crit multi as possible. And then you can get things like area damage, spell damage, lightning damage maybe. Please check the description for PoE.trade links with setup filters for jewels. You can just like click the link and go to PoE.trade. Other than that, there's not much to be said here. Like I will let you take a look at the passive tree. I will also put Path of Building link in the description if you want to copy it from there. I will mention this though, when you're going for big bosses like Uber Elder and Cyrus, you want to drop these three and then go for this. This will give you sustain on your mana flasks. This is not needed at all for like Conquerors or something else maybe, because the Conquerors die within a few seconds, so you won't need this. And if you have my level of gear for anointment options, maybe if you get like crit chance from your Cinder Swallow or you have crit chance from here, you can go for Divine Judgment for like maximum damage. But early on, you can go for Arcane Potency. This will give you more damage if you don't have all the crit chance from your like flasks or your weapons maybe. So I guess that's it about the passive tree. Okay, so for Pantheons, Soul of Shikari for the poison immunity. And the big one really doesn't matter so much, so I'm leaving this one up to you. I went for Soul of Solaris. Once again, it's up to you. You can go for whatever you want here. So I guess that's it about the build. I'll include the leveling section at the end of the video as well. But for now, I just want to say thank you for all the support. Like, I really appreciate it. If you enjoyed the video, you know, consider liking and subscribing. I would really appreciate that as well. I stream on twitch.tv/orgo, so if you want to just come chill with me, ask me some questions, feel free to do that as well. Thank you guys so much once again. I hope you have an awesome day, and I'll see you in the next one. Okay, so for leveling this character, it's like unbelievably easy. One of the best things that you can do is like craft gloves like these. As you can see, the gloves have like no level requirement, and it gives you an insane amount of flat added damage. You can craft it by using metallic and then frigid fossils on a low item level base. This is like item level 3, as you can see. You can kill Hilak a couple of times until he drops some gloves and then use these fossils. This is like insanely easy to get, and it will help you quite a lot in the early stages of leveling. You can also go for these items. I will just hover over them. The corruption doesn't matter too much, so you can just buy the base item. They are fairly cheap. If you can't afford the Wanderlust, you can go for like the... if you can't afford the 7 League Steps, you can go for like the Wanderlust boots. And also, when you get your first lab done and you get the power charge generation, you can swap out for like Malagaro's Virtuosity. This will fixate your crit multi at 300, and since you'll be getting a lot of crit from these, the Diamond Flask, the crit gem, and like the power charge generation, you will have a lot of crit chance, so this gives you an insane amount of damage all throughout the game. So I would recommend getting this as well. Skill wise, I leveled with Blade Vortex because it's like a super smooth skill. You can just cast it once and then move through the entire map. I linked it with added cold damage, added lightning damage, increased critical strikes, faster casting, and then spell echo. For passive tree, after your first lab, you're gonna get unstable infusion. After your cruel lab, you're gonna go for this, this third, and this for like the final lab. For passive tree, you want to start out like this. Come here, grab these crits and these life nodes. From there, go up, grab these cast speed, go to the witch starting area, grab this area, grab this crit once again. You can also grab this life if you'd like. It also gives you resistances. From there, you know, go down, get these life and mana nodes. Come here, and then go for like the Templar starting area, get the area and the crit from here, get the life, and you can just like fill out the rest. So I guess that's it about leveling as well. Thank you guys once again. I hope you have an awesome day, and I'll see you in the next one.